Hi, this is Alex Fernandez with Bud and Doug Walters Auto Sales in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Today I'll be doing a demonstration video on this 2018 GMC Terrain SLT all-wheel drive. We'll start by talking about the touchscreen and the buttons just beneath it. We'll work our way down to the climate control and the shifter buttons. Next we'll go to the center console and we'll work our way over to the steering wheel, the stalks behind it, and some buttons we have here on the left side. Beginning at the touchscreen, we have some buttons down beneath which we can use to control some features on that screen. You'll notice we have a radio and media button which would access those functions depending on what's available. Radio would give us the options of AM, FM, and satellite, and media would give us the option of Bluetooth or USB or auxiliary. The tone button here allows us to adjust the bass, mid-range, and treble, as well as fade and balance for the stereo. We have a back button there to go back to the previous screen. Just above we have seek buttons to change the radio stations. And here we have a home button, which you'll also notice we have on the screen in the bottom left corner. That home button takes us to this page where we see the applications of the primary features of this screen. You'll see audio, phone, users, settings, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, apps, OnStar services, and then we have Marketplace, Wi-Fi hotspot, and my GMC. Beginning in audio, you'll see when we press that icon, we open whatever we're listening to. In this case, we're listening to FM radio. Across the top are our presets. To set those, simply choose your station using either the tune buttons down below on the screen, the tuning keypad right in the middle, or we can also use the tuning dial to the right side there. Along the left side of the screen we have our sources list, which is the available audio sources. In this case we have AM, FM, satellite, and Bluetooth. To the right side we have our sound settings and a browse button which actually opens a list of available stations in the area. Going back to the home page, when we go to phone, you'll notice we have no phones connected right now. To connect a phone, simply open the Bluetooth settings on your compatible device and press on the screen here, connect phone, to begin the pairing process. That will sync up your contacts, your call history, just so you have everything available to you while you're in the car hands-free. The users button here, we're able to actually have different profiles, they call them, for different users in the vehicle. Essentially, you can use your key to have different settings, whether that's radio or vehicle settings, whatever that might be. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are available in this vehicle. To use that, simply plug into a USB port with a compatible smartphone, whether Android or Apple, to use either of those, and those will enable the use of your popular navigation apps like Google Maps, Waze, or Apple Maps, as well as music and podcasts, and phone calls and text messages. Our apps button here does require us to be hooked up to a Wi-Fi network. This vehicle is capable of connecting to Wi-Fi, but also has the ability to subscribe to a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot, which is a subscription-based service for this vehicle. OnStar services is the last icon there, and again, that's a GM-offered subscription service offering things like roadside assistance, stolen vehicle recovery, turn-by-turn directions, etc. Looking down at our climate control, this is dual zone in this vehicle. We have the driver's side and passenger side temperature controls with our fan speed dial right in the middle. To change temperature, simply rotate the dial clockwise or counterclockwise depending on what you're hoping for. Same thing goes for the fan speed. You'll notice when we make a change to that climate control, it is displayed on the screen, so we have another way to interact with that. We have our auto button here in the driver's side temperature control. You set the temperature and it will take care of the rest to get to that temperature for you. We have air conditioning, recirculate mode, our 4 different locations of where the air is going to come out of, power for the climate control right in the middle, our front and rear defroster there, and at the bottom of the passenger dial, the sync button, which allows the passenger and driver to be the same and gives the driver control of both zones from their dial. Looking down below, this vehicle has a push button shifter interface. We have a push button for park, a pull toggle for reverse, a push button for neutral, a pull switch for drive, and then a push button for low, and the ability to manually upshift and downshift using that. Looking back here, we have some buttons in this center console. We have heated seats for driver and passenger, as well as our all-wheel drive dial. This vehicle has manually selectable all-wheel drive, as well as an off-road mode when using that all-wheel drive. You're able to switch that on the fly while you're driving as necessary, depending on what the conditions require. This button here is a hill descent control. It's designed for driving down a steeper grade without having to ride the brake pedal to maintain a slower speed. This button here is your lane keep assist feature. With clearly marked road lines, the vehicle will alert you if you begin to drift out of your lane, and if you do not correct it at that point, it will steer you back into the lane with a gentle nudge of the steering wheel. Speaking of steering wheel, looking at our wheel here, we have on the right side a little control pad, which is used to interact with the screen here in the gauge cluster. We can show things like fuel economy, trip information, oil life, fuel range, tire pressures, average speed, timer. If we press to the left on that keypad, we also have the options category, which allows us to turn on or off traction and stability control, which are both turned on by default. Also on this side of the wheel, we have a button to hang up or decline a phone call, and our voice command button to interact with our hands-free system for Bluetooth. On the left side of the wheel, we have our cruise control settings. This button here is the on-off switch for your cruise. You'll see an icon appear in the bottom left of the screen. Once you've got the cruise on, press down to set. Once set, you can press the plus sign to accelerate, the minus sign to decelerate, and then you have a cancel button here, which would allow you to resume your speed as well. This vehicle is also equipped with a forward collision alert, which we can adjust using this button here. We can adjust the interval at which the vehicle will begin to alert if we were coming up on slower or stopped traffic without slowing down. Last button here is your heated steering wheel. Yellow light indicates that that's turned on. Looking at the stalks behind the wheel, we have our windshield wipers here. Pulling that stalk down once does a single swipe of the windshield. Clicking up once takes us to intermittent, which we can then adjust here. Next click is low speed, and the final is high speed. All the way back down is off. For the rear wiper, we have 3 positions: off, intermittent, and on. We just rotate the dial accordingly. And we have sprays for both the front and the rear wipers. To do the front spray, pull that stalk towards you. To do the rear spray, push that stalk away from you. On our left side here, we have our brights, our blinkers, as well as a little button with an A on it there. That pertains to the high beams, which you'll notice in the top of the gauge cluster there. You'll see a green icon that matches. This vehicle is equipped with automatic high beams. This vehicle will then apply the high beams when there's no one coming towards you, and if a vehicle approaches you at night, the vehicle will turn the high beams off until they have passed. You're able to shut that feature on or off, use it at your discretion, but it is handy. Coming down to the left side here, we have our headlight controls. The headlights are automatic. We can also have the ability to turn on our parking lights and our headlights manually. The button to the right here is going to be our fog lights, which again we'll have a matching icon for once that's been turned on. And the last thing here is a dial that allows us to adjust the brightness of everything inside when our lights are turned on. Just down below that, we have a little push button. That's your parking brake. Simply push on it to set it, and to disengage it with your foot on the brake pedal, press it again. Looking at the door here, we do have driver seat memory presets. We have 2 slots, so you're able to have 2 saved positions for this driver's seat. And this vehicle also has easy entry exit, which allows you to have the seat slide back when you shut the car off to ease your exit, and we'll slide the seat back when you're getting in for easy entry. We also have our door lock switches here. We have window switches, window locks, and our mirror adjustments just there. And just down below here, we have the switch for our powered rear liftgate. You press in the middle to open or close, and we're able to adjust the height between a 3/4 height setting or the full height. And we're also able to turn that powered liftgate off if we just want a manual liftgate. Looking up above us, we have our dome lights. A switch to determine whether the door is being open will turn those dome lights on. A switch to turn all the dome lights on at once. We have our OnStar buttons here. Again, that's a subscription-based service. If you want to subscribe to that, that's something that you can do either over the phone or online. And we have 3 programmable garage door opener buttons there, so you don't have to keep your remote in the car with you anymore. Just behind that, we have a sunglasses case to keep things all organized for you. Other than that, we've covered the primary features of this 2018 GMC Terrain. If you have any questions, please refer to us at waltersautos.com, or feel free to call at 269-375-7008 with any questions or to set up an appointment. Thank you.